So Slade is back. Yes. Alright guys, in this episode of Arrow, episode 14, a lot of crazy stuff happened. So let's jump in. Oliver and Dia were trapped. Were on the island by a setup by Malcolm Merlin to try and turn them into killers again, like get their killer instinct back. As was evidenced by his releasing Slade as if he was playing with their lives as some big video game. Also, Oliver reveals to Thea that she was Sarah's killer, thanks to dear old dad. So throughout this episode, it's still evident that Oliver is still hiding secrets from Thea, and that is his way of protecting and caring and protecting for Thea, and it's different from whereas Malcolm's way of was more sadistic and psycho. Like, since he drugged her to kill Sarah and claimed it was to protect her from Ra's al Ghul. So we did get to see flashbacks of Oliver as he was recognized by Jordan, the drug guy that was the one throughout the episode giving out drugs to Thea. He recognized Oliver right away in his hoodie, even though he had some grease paint. So I'm surprised that Oliver remembers this stuff. Maybe he doesn't. It's just a flashback because of the show. But I'm surprised he remembers this stuff because he was like pressured during this moment. There were also flashbacks of Tommy and Laurel, and we see Tommy trying to act like a big brother to all of them, especially Thea, like Oliver was. We also get Laurel's perspective of her confrontation with her father, in which he speaks of the bond that has been severed from the two of them. And Laurel is obviously letting it go. Lance is obviously not letting it go that easily, guys. He saw Laurel as a kind-spirited girl who just stabbed him in the back by hiding secrets from him. Obviously, he doesn't remember that Laurel is the one that has always been by his side, and from time and time again. But hopefully, he soon understands this and that they are alike in many ways and forgives her. I'm really interested in seeing a little more of a flashback episode revolving around Diggle and Andy, as this was the first time I remember seeing Diggle's brother on Arrow. Like, I don't believe we've ever saw him on Arrow before, and it was interesting to see the dynamic between the two of them. Seeing them together was pretty cool, as you can see their connection and they have with each other. It would be great to see that builded upon, but hopefully that is builded upon, but no promises, right? Also, my favorite moment in this episode was seeing Slade return. Alright, that was just an awesome scene when Oliver breaks it to Thea about Sarah's death, and Slade pops out of nowhere and attacks them. Yeah, buddy. It's unclear if he will return as Deathstroke, but they might need his help in defeating Ra's al Ghul. But ultimately, Merlin is up to something. Like, that dude is up to something. Like, he's obviously gonna find some way to get Thea to trust him and forgive him again, whether it's sacrificing his own life or whatever. But he's obviously up to something. But overall, another great episode of Arrow. I'll give it a solid 9 out of 10, just because it was really interesting to see Diggle and his brother together for the first time, and the flashback episodes were amazing too. Like, absolutely, and also absolutely amazing to see Slade back. And the fight scenes were pretty cool as well. If you saw how Thea and Oliver were training at the beginning with the sword fighting with the stick, yeah, that is how Slade trained Oliver, and now Oliver is training Thea. So it's basically like Slade is training Thea, but he's not technically training Thea. And they fought Slade, so that was pretty cool too. But what were your overall thoughts of this episode? What do you think Merlin is going to do to win back Thea? And were you interested in seeing Diggle's brother? And do you want to see this built upon? Like, do you want to see the dynamic between the two of them built upon? But that's all I have for this episode. Um, Thanks for watching, and if you agreed with anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I greatly appreciate it. And if you could be so kind, subscribe to my channel as well if you haven't already. That would be awesome. Um, I'm Kevin Ambrose, and I'll talk to you guys later. But also, were you guys excited to see Slade back? Because I was.